best way to stay competitive and protect the business for long term is to move production from our facility in Indianapolis to Monterrey, Mexico.
Well, that was a group of 1,400 factory workers reacting to the announcement that their jobs are heading to Mexico. The speaker, well, he justified the move, citing competitive pricing and product quality. Is it fair for these companies to continue to jump on America and still expect Americans to buy their goods? Joining me now, Jillian, Melchior, Gina Loudon, and Steve Rogers. Jillian, let me start with you. It's the economics of it are pretty clear.
Yep.
But you start to think about it at some point. There's got to be some sort of commitment for an American company to America, no?
Well, I think this one is extremely egregious because Carrier had actually received a $5.1 million stimulus-funded grant under the 48C program. That was specifically to create green jobs in America. That was the whole purpose of this program. They took the money, and then they're bailing and going to Mexico. And when I called their spokesperson to talk to her about it today, she would not give me details on how they were going to live through on their commitment. She said, you know, we're going to try to follow it, but I won't give you any details, no specifics. So I think this is certainly an Obama administration green failure. We've heard this story again and again and again, and they keep getting away with it.
Steve, should we be angry at the companies who are just trying to cut costs in many instances, or angry at a system that's given us, particularly this administration, extraordinarily high taxes, high regulations, high fees? I mean, it costs a lot of money to do business in America.
How about, you're right, being angry at an administration that cares little about the American worker and more about the profit-making corporations. You know what they forgot in that narrative, Charles, in that video? The taxes, the regulations that are killing jobs. Obamacare in itself has killed a lot of jobs. But I'm just not going to say it's the president's fault. It's the Congress's fault, the do-nothing Congress. And what we have to do as a country is come together and say, you know what, the only way we're going to change this is change the Congress as well as the administration.
You know, Gina Loudon, this is a topic that resonates big time with Donald Trump voters or people who poll for him. And, you know, he's talked really tough, whether it's Ford or Nabisco. What could a president do without the help of Congress? I mean, should there be a carrot or stick approach to this?
I think you ask a great question, Charles, and I think that's why a lot of people are looking at these candidates and going, which one do I think would be the toughest negotiator with Congress? And I think that remains to be seen. But I think Donald Trump certainly has a track record to back himself up, especially on this issue, because this issue does go a lot deeper than just the corporate greed, as your other guests pointed to as well. You've got litigators making a fortune on all of this. You've got unions. We've got, of course, government red tape and bureaucracy, the highest corporate tax rate in the entire world. All of those things need to change before anything else is going to change. And so I think that as people are looking at their presidential candidates, look at the ones who will make a strong stand on those issues and not just constantly go after corporate greed.
But we could also point out that a lot of Donald Trump paraphernalia was made in Mexico. So it's kind of a do as I say and not as I do.
Well, the suits and some of those things. I would think that at this point, though, Steve, that probably will come to a halt. But today, Carrier, their parent company is United Technologies. I think the stock was up $1.50 off of a 3-year low. So if your stock is at a 3-year low, I mean, you're grappling. We've seen them do it. We saw it just last week where Ford said, listen, we're going to expand our plants in Mexico. Apparently, either these companies aren't taking Donald Trump seriously, or they're just saying they just think Washington is so dysfunctional, no matter who the president is, they'll never fix it so that American companies can maximize profit.
We have no leadership in this country, and I've said it before, when Donald Trump becomes president of the United States, they're going to be begging to come back to the United States of America.
All right, guys, let's leave it there. The South Carolina GOP primary is just 1 week from tomorrow.